continue to be one of them, and for that I'm forever thankful. At 74, I don't get down to the pony as much as I used to, but I'm still glad it's there. Long may she run. Introduction. I'd like to start with a clarification for those whose familiarity with the Jersey Shore begins and ends with a certain abomination of a reality television show. The Jersey Shore is a diverse stretch of 141 miles of coastline that is far from monolithic. There's alcohol-free family resort towns like Ocean City, mansion-lined Hamptons-esque hamlets like Spring Lake, and kitschy, carnival-vibe boardwalks in Seaside Heights and Point Pleasant. There's pockets of surf and fishing communities in almost every town. Asbury Park, however, was always different. A brief history lesson. In the early 1900s, Asbury Park was an entertainment resort town seeking to compete with Atlantic City, building theaters and convention halls to help fill its many hotels. In the middle of the century, it was becoming a destination for touring acts looking for a gig between Philadelphia and New York City. Led Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones, for example, arrived in town in the 1960s. Yet, like many towns at the time, Asbury Park was segregated. The oceanfront, or east side of the train tracks, remained a largely white population. On the west side was a largely black community, with a thriving music scene as jazz and blues clubs littered Springwood Avenue. In the 1960s, as the civil rights movement rippled across the country and black communities fought back against racist Jim Crow laws and segregation, the west side of Asbury Park began to grow frustrated with dwindling economic opportunities in town and a shrinking housing market. Those tensions would erupt into riots in July 1970, when protesters destroyed nearly all of Springwood Avenue. Though no one was killed, the damage and unrest sparked a flight from Asbury Park, the beginning of a slow, precipitous decline that would bottom out in the 1990s. That era was my introduction to Asbury Park and the Stone Pony. Inching through the crumbling west side of town, as the 6 CD changer shuffled through Blink-182, Bad Religion, and Bigwig, in single-lane traffic for the 1998 Vans Warped Tour held in the Stone Pony lot. Cars were backed up 5 miles along a mostly single-lane road to the Garden State Parkway. It was a 2-plus-hour crawl in swampy Jersey Shore summer heat for my dad and me in an aging Ford station wagon as we crossed into a ghost town. Dubbed Beirut by the shore, the once proud beach resort town of Asbury Park looked more like bombed-out Dresden in World War II, the shattered remnants of the city ripped apart by decades of corruption, segregation, tough luck, and the unsparing whims of economic change. Even with the Warped Tour stages providing a temporary skyline to the beachfront and a surge in summertime population, the scars of the struggling town were everywhere. Bars were shuttered and closed. Homes deserted. A rotting abandoned condo project 12 stories high cast a shadow over the concert area, a warning visible from blocks away of this city by the sea that fortune seemingly forgot. It was not the kind of ruins that presented options to the opportunistic and bold. It was just dead. But I couldn't stay away. It was quickly becoming central to the booming New Jersey punk scene. Bands that started with shows in basements, Legion halls, and firehouses were getting signed to major labels and headlining tours. That recognition drew other national punk bands to Asbury Park, and with them came me, to the Pony and other venues in town. My friends and I, hooked on the scene and the permanent hearing damage that came with it, tried to go to everything. Then, I discovered the world of Bruce Springsteen. He had always been there, omnipresent in my life as a lifelong New Jerseyan, born to 2 lifelong New Jerseyans, with a father who filled every car ride and silent moment in the house with classic rock or Q104.3 on the radio. But it took my own journey into music as a fledgling guitarist to move deeper than Born to Run and Thunder Road and discover the canon of the greatest American rock star in history. That someone as galactic as Springsteen was from